Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. So today I'd like to talk about why algebra does not belong in activism. Algebra belongs in a small, unair-conditioned room in Susan Wagner High School with Mr. Jackarino in it, with the door locked, and me on the other side of that locked door. In all seriousness, there are a lot of people that want to make the world a better place. They believe that they understand how to make the world a better place, and they want to get their ideas out there into the world so that the world can suck less. And what they wind up doing with their presentation style when they're talking to people is they unintentionally create an algebraic equation that the person they're talking to has to solve by working backwards and canceling out everything that you've told them. What do I mean here? Well, I'd like to read an email that I received from a viewer and have the conversation while this is still fresh in my head, because I actually had a 2-hour conversation on this yesterday. So this is still fresh in my head, which means it will be much better if I discuss it now. Hi, Lewis. In an old email thread back and forth, at the end of it, you said, don't donate to me. That's not necessary. Just get somebody else to care about the issues that we care about and we'll call it even. Well, I tried to do that and it's still not even. My brother replaces his phone almost every year to year and a half. Anytime something really small goes wrong on one of his vehicles, he simply trades it in for another one, which is a giant waste of money and also a waste. The place he's trading it into is not fixing the vehicle for resale. They're definitely doing it if it's something basic wrong with it. Back to this. I keep telling him that repair is something that he should be doing because this is a good thing. However, he refuses to do it, and he even says that repair is stupid. What do I do? I think that you're making the mistake that most activists make, which is essentially you're trying to get somebody to do something by telling them this is a good thing, you should be doing this, and with that, there are certain underlying assumptions and implications. So let's go over that, and just please, Mr. Jackarino, if you're watching this, just understand that when it comes to math and algebra, at some point, the student becomes the teacher. So, anyway, so let's go over this over here. So what you're telling your brother over here is this: repair is good. Plus, brother doesn't repair. Now, your brother probably thinks he's a good person, right? Brother is good person. However, based on the way you've laid this out, that's technically going to sound false, right? Because if repair is good and brother doesn't repair, then brother is a good person is not going to be true. So let's go through this here and figure out what he's doing in his head. So he's doing this. So he's starting off with this part of the equation. Brother is good person, right? I mean, we'll make this true. Here's what he does. Then we go back here and we do, actually I could copy and paste. Look at that. And do this. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Brother doesn't repair. And what he does is he just removes repair is good minus repair is good. So he just takes this and he crosses it out, because he needs to cross that out in order to be a good person, right? Or what he could do is this. Here's what he could also do to make this statement true. Repair is good plus brother does repair equals brother is good person, true. However, in the second statement, he has to fundamentally change who he is. Not only does he have to change who he is, but he's not changing who he is as a result of making the decision on his own. He's changing who he is because you told him he should, because if you want to do the right thing, if you want to be good, you should do this. That fundamentally goes against the lizard brain in almost all human beings. Admittedly, it goes against mine. You could tell me that something I'm doing is bad. If you want it to be good, you would do this, and there's going to be something in my head that just wants to resist you because you told me that I was bad. That's the way people work. Even logical humans are humans. We feel emotions, and that's how we work. And this is something that you could see going on very often in the real world. When you tell somebody that, hey, climate change is a thing, you driving your F-350 diesel, you're bad. Does he go out and buy a Toyota Prius? Or does he go to the DPF delete guy and then roll coal on every single hybrid and electric vehicle that he sees on the road because you led him to believe that these people think he's a shitty human being for his life choices? During COVID, if you say, well, technically, scientifically, when you go downstairs to pick up the mail, if you greet the mail person, you may not die and she may not die, but if you have it and you spread it to her, she could spread it to somebody who spreads it to somebody who spreads it to somebody who spreads it to somebody whose grandmother now has a 6% more chance of death because of you. Is that person going to go, oh, you're right, I'm not going to do that, I'm sorry? Or are they going to go on Rumble and read that like 5G causes COVID and the way you cure it is, I don't know, sniffing cinnamon bun fusion from HEB? Like, in all seriousness, I'm not kidding. When you go about trying to change people's minds or change the world, the worst way that you could go about it is by setting up an algebraic equation where A, they're bad, B, they're a good person if they listen to you, or C, they're a good person but you're wrong. Because 99% of the time, C is going to be what occurs. And here's the worst part about that brand of activism. it puts people so on edge that when you actually do present the real, genuine truth to them, something that would actually benefit them if they believed in or listened to or tried, they're not going to want to have any of it. They're not going to want to listen to you. Their mind is going to be as closed off as a kitty that got kicked 30 times by its previous owner when you go over to pet it and say, "Good kitty," and it goes, and the person to blame will be you. That may sound harsh, but it's the truth. It's kind of like Newton's laws of physics. You know, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Like for each time that you go out of your way to make somebody who has an F-350 diesel feel like they're a bad person, they will roll coal on a Tesla. Like, you know, I'm being serious here. This is not a joke. This applies across issues, across political spectrums, across countries, anything else. Anytime somebody even detects a hint of you implying that they're a bad person as a result of their belief system because they do wrong things, they are going to resist you. It's natural. It is as natural as the laws of physics, which is why when it comes to right to repair, the way I talk about it, I never shame people for their decisions and what they do with their electronics. If you fix your electronics, great. If you pay somebody to fix your electronics, great. If you buy a new one every week, I don't care. You will not find a single video in the 3,000 plus videos I've done on this channel in 12 years where I am shaming somebody because they didn't fix something. I shame many people for trying to take away your right to fix something. There are many people, many companies, many lawmakers. I will shame the shit out of people that try to take the option away from you. But what I'm advocating for is that you have that option. And the way that I get people excited about that option is I talk about the benefits of it. And not only do I talk about it, I show you the benefits of it. Here's a $2,000 device. Apple wants $1,500 to fix it. Here's how you can fix it with a $5 chip. Here's how you can fix it for $200. Here's how you can make it work again in 15 minutes. And even if you don't make it work again, you feel like you had a good time. Let's try to create a little bit of personal investment so that people actually care about this issue because they want to care about it, because it means something to them rather than simply because I told them that they're bad. That doesn't work. And sometimes I wonder about this myself. Like, I'm an abrasive asshole. Outside of the fact that I have no social skills, I am an abrasive prick. How did I get millions of subscribers? How did I get so many people to the point where whether I'm at an airport in Germany or driving through Custer, South Dakota, that somebody will fist bump me and say, yeah, right to repair, to actually care about this issue? Because in spite of the fact that I'm abrasive about the topics that I talk about, I never make you feel like you're the bad guy. You're not the joke. You can be in on the joke, but I don't make you the joke. It's somebody else that's the enemy. It's somebody else that's the bad guy. It's somebody else that's punching down at you and fucking with you. And when I present these narratives, I present them with citations in a factual way. Sometimes I'll even include recordings like I do with the Farm Bureau, so you could read their emails and listen to the shit that they say on the phone and see that they are against you. I am not against you. Somebody else is against you. That's why you should care. That works. Telling somebody that they're bad because they went downstairs to get their mail or because they drove an F-350 diesel to tow their boat, that's just not going to work. You can try, but it's not going to work. If you look back through my channel for the last 12 years, you will not find a single video of me ever shaming somebody because they chose to purchase something new instead of fix their old one. If you want me to fix your device, great. If you want to fix your device yourself, by all means, go ahead and fix your device yourself. And if you want to buy a new phone every 2 months simply because you don't want to take a toothpick to remove dust from the charging port, you do you. There are many things in this channel that I've said that can be seen as offensive, as incendiary, as charismatic, as bombastic, but you will never find me insulting somebody because of their personal life choice to not fix something that could be fixed. It's not something I do. The way that I get people excited about what it is that I do is I make it cool to them. I turn it into a game. This is something a company says you can't do. This is something that a company says you're too stupid to do. This company tells legislators that magnetometers and microwaves will explode, that games will play consoles. And then I play it for all of you. And I let you know. These people think you're idiots. These people want to steal parts out of your phone simply because you didn't want to pay $207 for a battery to a device that costs $140. I don't make the customer the bad person. I make somebody else the bad person. You know how real activism works? You don't make the person you're talking to the bad guy, because nobody wants to be the bad guy. And if you phrase your activism in a manner where the person you're talking to feels like the bad guy, they're not going to listen to you. It doesn't matter how illogical whatever the fuck they came up with is in order to not believe you. It doesn't matter if the logic that they used in coming to that conclusion that you're wrong is logic that they would never apply to any other area of their life because they know it's crazy. They are going to believe the bullshit they tell themselves simply because you have given them an incentive structure to believe that, because you have told them if they don't believe this, they're a bad person. People are very good at believing lies when they have the right incentive structure.
You want to know the best thing you can say to a guy in bed? Ladies, say yes, and I'll tell you what the best thing you can say to a guy during sex is. This is the best thing you can say to a guy during sex. You guys are having sex, and you look at him, and you go, Ouch. And hold your stomach when you say that shit too. Oh, my lung. That's, I got, every guy knows exactly how big his dick is. You say ouch, we will believe the lie you are telling us. Hold your neck, we don't give a fuck.
Is he wrong? And you're trying to think through this logically, and a lot of people who are activists try to think this out logically. If I just make the right logical argument, if I show them the right scientific study, they don't care. They don't care about your scientific study. They don't care about reality at that point. What they care about is not wanting to feel like a bad person. And if you're the activist that regularly gets these responses, this is on you for phrasing it that way. When I talk about right to repair, do you hear me telling people, oh, did you fix your toaster oven or buy a new one? Oh, shame on you. Did you fix your transmission or have somebody replace it? Oh, yeah, you replaced your transmission? Was the old one fixable? Yeah, man, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like you care. Oh, man, do you really care about repair? I don't do this shit because it doesn't work. It fundamentally goes against human psychology. It doesn't matter how many logical arguments you stack one on top of the other on top of the other. It doesn't matter how much authoritative evidence you have. It doesn't matter how many, none of this shit matters because at the end of the day, people are conditioned to be tribal. They're conditioned to want to believe what people on their side believe. But above all of that, we are conditioned to want to believe that we are good human beings. And if you can guide somebody to a thought or an idea as a result of them actually taking their own interest in it, by all means, go for it. If you try to get people excited about repair by showing them, hey, here's a $2,000 product that the manufacturer wants $1,500 to fix, and here's how you can fix it for $200. That works. If you can show somebody, hey, see how you're making like $50K a year at your business, you'd be able to make closer to $150K if you started doing this. Oh, you'll get them excited about it. If you show them, hey, this thing that the manufacturer says will take 2 weeks to send out a part for, here's how you can make it work right now so that you're actually able to have a working air conditioner in Texas heat. That's a dopamine kick right there. And even if there's no genuine benefit to them in the moment, simply having that dopamine kick of making something work again seals the deal on them as a supporter of my cause. I have never in my entire life ever gotten somebody to sign on to a cause that I care about by making them feel bad about themselves. And I don't think that you're doing that on purpose. You're not on purpose trying to tell your brother that he's doing something bad and he's wrong and all this other stuff. That's not your intention. You want him to care about an issue that you care about. And I simply believe that you're going about it the wrong way. And I think everybody watching this, for whatever issue it is that you advocate for in your own life, are you doing this? Are you setting up these algebraic equations where either my thing is true and you're bad, or you're good and my thing is wrong? Don't cause people to do that, because the moment that you get people into that part of their head, they stop listening to reason, evidence, anything else. They will throw that shit out the window. Whatever standard that person applies to every other area of their life, they're not going to apply to yours because you've put them into a position where you're implying that they're not a good person. People stop being rational at that point. And you can't expect them to be rational at that point because you wouldn't be rational at that point. If I set up my phrasing to the point where you're a bad person or you're doing bad things and you're doing them intentionally, unless you do what I ask for, aside from the whole control aspect and element of it, it doesn't feel good to feel like that. Something to think about. Have you ever in your own life tried to get somebody to believe in a certain cause or a certain thing and realized that you kind of hit that stone wall and not realize until watching this video that what you were doing was setting up that reverse algebra equation? And if so, what could you have done differently to get somebody to actually care about your issue? Because I don't think many of you may have noticed this until now. I don't put you down if you don't fix something. Hell, I'm not even going to lie to you. There's a bunch of shit where I don't even fix it. I just replace it. Right to repair is not about militantly requiring that every single person fix their own shit. It's about having the ability to. It's about having the right to, not the requirement to, not the obligation to, not the I must fix my $10 window fan or I'm a hypocrite. It's simply about people having the option and living in a world where more of us have that option. When you inspire a response from somebody of repair is stupid, I want you to think about what it requires for somebody to get to the point of thinking that. What does it take for this particular individual to get to the point where they're actually shitting on having an option to do something that they don't even have to do? What that tells me is that they're thinking about it in a different way. The way that you presented it to them didn't make them feel like it was a right to repair, but rather an obligation to do this or you're bad. And this is all something that can be fixed with phrasing. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now. unless it's Mr. Jaccarino. His tests give me nightmares. 19 years later, his tests still give me nightmares. Cool dude, though. See you next one.